Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pick and Roll. We're here for the Tuesday slate as we get back in action here. We had a bit of a long weekend because I was away yesterday. Thank you, everybody, for your patience with the show and coming back for Tuesday. Apologies for the late start today. We're going to be fully transparent at the jump here. Pips was spending time looking at the picks for today, but unfortunately, with some questionable players in the Heat matchup, possible to get any lines there, and it's just very difficult in that Lakers-Warriors. So unfortunately today, no specific free picks. So what we'll be doing today, we'll be previewing the two matchups that we have here. Perhaps we can talk a little bit about the series, maybe get a good read for the series, what we have so far. And also, we're going to talk about some of the biggest events that we missed over the last 3 days. So apologies again, but hopefully you guys can appreciate that Pips doesn't want to just force out a play just for the sake of it. It is playoffs. It is difficult. So we will be a little bit extra disciplined for today. But as we always do, we will start off with a recap of the previous show's picks. So we had a pick for Friday and we had a pick for Saturday. Hopefully you guys can remember these ones. It's been a bit of time at this point now, but we'll pull up the record here, tracked on the PipsNBA app, and we have, from the picks, a 1-1 slate. Unfortunately, Wiggins does not come through on our first same-game parlay, but in our second one, Durant and Jokic, they cash quite easily. So not quite what we're looking for. It is ultimately just a split here, so we lose the juice. But Pips, I'm sure we'll talk about a lot of games that we have here. I mean, we've seen 2 other games in these series. We've seen another game for each of these series so far. But why don't we start with the Nuggets and Suns here? What's been your read so far from this series? Pretty crazy. We have the Nuggets up by 2 here, despite being underdogs in the series.
Everyone been calling me crazy for that thought about Jokic on Torrey Craig. And last game we saw a lot of Jokic, not on Torrey Craig, but on Josh Okogie. And that's
right.
The same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. So it's actually great. So because with him being, so they try to, whenever they try to get Jokic involved, he will just blitz the pick and rolls, show on the level again, and 2 on the ball against KD and Booker. And that worked pretty well. The Phoenix Suns ended up scoring 87 points against the Denver Nuggets. And we all had Denver Nuggets defense circled like the main questionable point. And so far, 2 games, Suns average under 100 points. And some great defensive stuff we saw from the Denver. All the great little things work like a charm. There's so much attention to the details. So their main thing on defense is just to get KD, CP, and Booker shoot the shots they can make, but not high quality shots. So they are settling for them to shoot okay looks, but not getting any great looks. And that's so far how they approach this. So they will let KD shoot over Aaron Gordon, but if he's against Michael Porter Jr., they will double team him. So like all this stuff like that, like this, and it worked great. And we had our bet as a winner. Last game, almost a winner as KD scored 124 points. But the last bet we bet against the Golden State Warriors, same game parlay in the game 7, that was an easy winner. So yeah, so far like Denver played amazing in the series against the Suns, and Jokic showing up that when he has good teammates, he's unstoppable. And and also first half of that game, we saw Suns shoot 5 threes in a half in 2023. And that's the thing. And then last game, they just a bit overdid it because they went, okay, we just shoot threes. And then you ended up with KD 2 from 12 from the 3-point.
Yeah, it's fully transparent. I've been moving the last few days, so I haven't been watching the games as I normally would. So I'm not as in tune to what's been going on. I did see a bit of game 2 yesterday, and what was very interesting to see from Jokic's performance that usually he's all about getting teammates involved, but especially late against the Suns, from what I saw, it felt like he was ready to take over the game himself. Like he was done letting other guys do his work. and he got busy. And I mean, I get it. Denver are at home. They've only won their 2 home games, so they head on the road. I said earlier on in the playoffs that the series doesn't really start until an away team wins a game. So haven't gotten that yet. We'll see if that happens. But Nuggets have to feel happy with the ability to neutralize KD. And like Michael Malone, credit to him. He's making the bench. He's making the extra guy like a Koji. He's making those guys beat them. And they haven't been doing that. And Denver, built to last. They play in high altitude. They always work on having an extremely deep team, and it's coming through. And the people that say regular season doesn't matter at all, like we're kind of seeing with this Denver team that it does matter. I've never been one to say that, but it clearly does matter. So full credit to Denver for taking this 2-0 series lead. The other game that we talked about was the game 6 for that Kings-Warriors series. The series is over now. We saw the game 7. I did watch this game, and wow, I know it's been a couple days now. We have to talk about Steph Curry. 50 points in game 7. That is an NBA record for points in a game 7, surpassing KD's 48. I believe that was against the Bucks. I'm not sure what it was. I think it was against the Bucks.
Against the Bucks 48, yeah.
So the toe on the line.
On the line, yeah.
But 50 points from Steph Curry, and it was just the Steph Curry show. People have been, talking about who the best player in the world is. Is it Giannis? Is it, Embiid? Is it Jokic? But this is a game to remind you that it might be Steph Curry, because he just completely took over this game. And when he's going like this, and the gravity he provides, or the gravity that he draws on the court to open up for his teammates, he might be the best player that you could have on your team in the league. This game kind of showcases that. But I want to get your thoughts on this performance, and we'll maybe lead this into a little bit of a preview for the Warriors and Lakers series. But your thoughts on Steph Curry's Game 7 performance, 50 points.
I'll say like Steph, 35 years old and playing like this is his prime, like probably the second best season in his career. So, and with all these injuries that he had and problems, that didn't affect him at all. That was one of the best games we ever seen from a player. But I'll say the Kings showed no resistance at all in that game on Steph Curry. He was getting everywhere he wanted, even on drives, layups, threes. Okay, he made some threes that were Steph Curry type of threes.
Yeah.
But he made so many easy layups. But yeah, it's when you are such a huge threat outside, you can get easily inside, and that's the game. That's the part of his game that's mostly underrated. Everyone thinks Steph Curry is just an amazing shooter, but his inside game is on top of like anyone in the league, any top player in the league. And yeah, I just said like no resistance at all. Poor defense on Steph, and you have like defense like that on Steph Curry, he is going to cook you, and he did. So that was amazing to watch. And I want to talk a little bit negatively on some player in this series, because I think everyone is a bit overrating him this season at least, and that's Sabonis. He was terrible.
Man, he got cooked, bro. Oh my goodness.
And not only on that side of the floor, like overall, he made everything so difficult for the Kings. Yeah, he got exposed in this series.
His
inability to score 1-on-1. He did some late into the game when they were like 25, so his numbers looked decent, but he was terrible. So he no moves in the post. It was easy to defend because they all left middle wide open, and they almost took away his dribble handoff. He got out rebounded. He couldn't defend for his life, and all in all, just terrible showing from Sabonis, one of the worst players in the series. And yeah, it's Brown offense is just so great for bigs that his numbers looked awesome all season, and he's a good player. I'm not saying he isn't.
Yeah.
But some players, someone had him like some people had him for MVP discussion and stuff, and
Oh,
that's
well,
crazy. Because as I said, like the numbers are like completely through the system, because almost every possession is running through his dribble handoffs and on the elbow, and his numbers always look great. He played 38 minutes a game in the last 2 months, so his rebounds, he was leading the league in rebounds. So I don't want to be long on this, but just glad that it showed up that Sabonis is not kind of player everyone was thinking he was.
yeah, I had him on my All NBA third team. I don't really regret that because it was a little bit fueled by games played and the impact from those games played. He's a great player, but this was one of the first times he was in deep as one of the best players in a playoff series against such a tough opposition. And like, oh my God, if you watch like a Kevon Looney highlight reel from that game 7, and you can find it because he was that good. It's also maybe even more so a Sabonis low light because
Yeah,
like he just got absolutely dominated. And watching the games this weekend, so many games come down to offensive rebounding right now that
yeah,
Looney's
sure.
presence on the glass is going to be massive. And even the Nuggets, not really in game 2, surprisingly, but in game 1, the Nuggets offensive rebounding was absolutely massive. So that's a big factor here. Before we go into the Lakers Warriors series preview, we'll also talk a little bit about the Heat and Knicks. We'll go to some questions here from the chat. If you guys have any questions, feel free to fire away. There's a question here from Badger Boy about a FanDuel boost. And I had to look at it before. I'll give Pips a second here. But the boost is Steph Curry, 24 or more points, LeBron, 20 plus, AD, 10 plus rebounds, and it's boosted to plus 100. So it's tough to devig when it's same game parlays like this. But to me, this looks like I don't think the max bet will be very high. I don't know what your guys' unit size is, but this is probably one that I would max out. This is a very
Yeah,
good number to play this at. What FanDuel is likely doing here is okay. It's Steph 25 plus. Slightly changes it, but doesn't change my thoughts on it. It's a really good play for you guys to take. Not like obviously can't guarantee the winner here, but this is very, very good value on this play. This is the type of boost that sportsbooks will use to, number one, it will drive in potentially some new customers to their sportsbook. And number two, for the new customers and for previous players, they want to essentially, I'm not saying they want to give you the money, but they kind of do. So they would rather you win at the book on a play like this with a low limit, and you're more likely to spend your winnings and lose more off of your winnings based off of getting from this rather than just actually giving you, let's say it's max $50. So you bet 50, get 50. If they just gave you $50, you're less likely to actually play with that money rather than winning. Because when you win on the bet like this, you get the high of winning, and you're more likely to continue playing at that sports book because you have that thought in your mind of winning on a bet. So you have that really good feeling inside. It's a little bit of a psychological trigger. So they do this rather than giving you that money. So these boosts aren't here to trap you. They aren't here to usually take your money. They're kind of doing you a favor here with a low limit. So that's what I get a feel from this one. But Pips, you're kind of nodding, but what are your thoughts on this play here? You like this one as
yeah,
well?
yeah. I think it's huge value on this. I mean, everything that goes from -185 to plus 100 is great to bet, but this all makes sense. All three. I'm looking like Davis rebounds. Not huge fan of LeBron points, but at 20, he's more very consistent. He should get there. He should drive easily to the rim. And Steph Curry 25 should be lock, but never know. But all in
Yeah.
all, good bets.
Yeah, no lock, but the price being moving so much that's a good number to take that at. So if you're thinking about it on the fence, I would recommend taking that. I looked at my FanDuel in my location; they don't have that one, unfortunately. But let's now talk about the Lakers Warriors series as a whole here. So the
I
Sixers.
need
This
to
is
take
oh, go ahead.
please 30 seconds to say something about my favorite player. I think it's fair. James Harden had the best game of his career
Oh,
last night.
I have that as well.
Yeah,
Wow, yeah, let's do that before we move forward. Okay, I have
yeah.
it here. So I have it
I,
written up
I thought we
already.
are done with talking about
Of
and
course.
yeah.
Let me preview here. Embiid injured. Celtics massive favorites. Expected just to easily take game one at home. James Harden, almost a legacy game for his time in Philly, drops 45, takes over. And Sixers take game one. And Pips is his favorite player, so I'll let him take it from here.
So I'll just say first off, the Boston Celtics have ended up the game shooting almost 60% from the field. They were 75% at halftime from the field, or even 77%, and then it was this game. And that's all because James Harden, 45-point game winning three, his signature step back three to win the game. Some unbelievable game in all things considered. So such a high scoring game, such a high efficiency game. No free throws in this game until up late, and amazing game. And also, Embiid was out,
Yeah.
and yeah, the spread was 10 points. Boston Celtics shot crazy good, and they still were able to take one game away. And I think it's such unfortunate that Embiid has the injury because this is the time that if Embiid was healthy, I think 76ers win this series and they are clear favorite to win the title.
Yeah.
And so unfortunate, but I hope Embiid is back and they need him at least to play defense because their defense was non-existent. We need some rim protection in there, and yeah, so good to see Harden perform like that, and also scoring so much on without free throws. Unbelievable for this stage of his career, and yeah.
Yeah, big time. Big time shout out to James Harden for that performance. I myself have doubted him playoff wise on this show before, but this is a big answer to a lot of the doubts about his performance in the playoffs. Also, quick shout out to Paul Reed for stepping in and doing a good job in that game. And PJ Tucker, 0 points does not tell the entire story to his performance there. So I wanted to kind of shout him out as well because role players make a difference as well in the playoffs, and doing that away from home was very impressive. All right, we have the Lakers-Warriors series coming up. Let's discuss here our thoughts on this series, maybe preview it a little bit and discuss maybe if we're feeling any of the prices here from these series. So let's pull up the series betting for the Lakers and the Warriors. What we have here is a minus 145 on DraftKings, the Warriors, plus 120 for the Lakers. So the Warriors are the firm favorites here. It is a 6 seed versus a 7 seed, although this doesn't really tell the full story of these two teams. Of course, the Warriors with the championship pedigree. The Lakers have been a completely different team since the deadline. I don't know if I make it as wide of a gap as this, but what are your thoughts going to this series, Pips?
I think we could see Game 7 in this series, and then it's a home court advantage for Golden State Warriors. But we saw them in Game 6; they are not unbeatable at home. I'm looking forward to see them tonight. So they had way less rest, and they were Game 7 and Game 6 were I think 36 hours apart, or like 38 hours apart.
Yeah.
So I think they are a bit tired, and they are a bit old now in this stage. So it will be very interesting to see what energy they bring in the game one. This is the clash of two totally different teams, like completely two totally different styles of play. So Lakers depend on inside scoring. Golden State Warriors depends on outside scoring. We should see probably a good pace for both sides. The Lakers have great inside defense with Anthony Davis leading the playoffs by double digits block. Like he had more blocks than double than the second player behind him in these playoffs, and he's just amazing on the defensive end. And we'll need to see him now. Okay, he did great against the Memphis team that's not shooting much, that they are driving to the rim, and now he's going against a team that's heavily shoot outside team. So his value is a bit lower in this series defensive. So we'll see how he does switching, blitzing, trapping Steph Curry, or does he remain in drop coverage? And with lack of point of attack defenders from Lakers, it will be difficult to defend Steph Curry like that. So it will be interesting to see what kind of approach they take in this game. On the other side, Golden State Warriors, yeah, they have Draymond Green to defend LeBron James. They have Kevon Looney to defend AD, and they are pretty good set in that part. Also, Wiggins will do probably great job guarding D'Angelo Russell or anyone, literally anyone. They are very well set for this series, better set than for the Kings series on defense. And I think we don't see much Jared Vanderbilt. I think we see much more Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah,
Because I think he will be 1-1 getting Steph Curry matchup. And yeah, a very interesting series. I think it's 50-50 almost. A bit small edge on Golden State Warriors for having home court advantage. But yeah, I love this series. Looking forward to it. It will be crazy deep details deciding the games.
yeah,
So
yeah. I agree. I was going to ask, what do you think the possibility is that knowing AD's threat is on the inside, they try to bring him out a little bit and they try to go small, maybe play Draymond Green at the 5 and get Jordan Poole if he's at all playing well in this series? You think there's any chance the Warriors try to go super small against the Lakers?
yeah, it's always possible, but I think they are okay with Kevin Looney playing some good minutes in this series because I think they will have Draymond Green on LeBron James, and then helping off him because LeBron James can shoot. So I don't know if anyone actually looked at it, but I'll just check for a second.
LeBron in the first round was something like 6 of 26 from 3. Something not good, not effective from 3.
Yeah, I know. But I just want to check totals numbers. I think it's so he was 8 for 41. That's 19% from 3.
Man.
And 41 attempts in 6 games is quite high.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot for him. Not usually his game at all. Wow, that's I guess not super surprising for him. So
That's 7 attempts a game, and he is making 19% of them. So
Lakers,
I actually think Kevin Looney can survive in this series.
yeah, Lakers got to go small. What am I talking about?
yeah. So it will be interesting, and I think Golden State Warriors match pretty well against the Lakers, and I think Golden State Warriors could win if, yeah, I think Golden State Warriors should have a slight edge in this one, or because they match up great and they have home court advantage.
Yeah,
but I think Lakers have also good chance if they can make some threes, that would be huge for them.
Yeah, they'll need somebody to step up. They had a lot of Rui Hachimura in the first game against Memphis. Like you were saying, Memphis was a big driving team, so that really played into the Lakers' hands. This is like a complete opposite with the Golden State Warriors. So this is going to be a very difficult test for the Lakers. My whole thing with the Lakers, I still, even he's 38 years old. He shot 8 of 41 from 3. I still am kind of wondering if LeBron has the ability at this age to still just take over a series. There wasn't really a need, I suppose, for him to do that against Memphis. The start of Game 6 against Memphis, which almost was a must win because you have Game 7 in Memphis. It felt like, tiring Lakers needed to win that game. He was amazing from the start. He kind of cooled off as the Lakers took a 20, 25 point lead, but I'm just wondering if the Lakers really need him to be the hero, if he can do that at 38 years old. I'll be honest, I'm a big LeBron fan, so this might be a little bit biased of me to say, but I'm curious if he has that. And I want to see if he can rise up to these levels to the Golden State Warriors. I'm also, as I'm talking, shopping around to some prices here. Not really a lot of value here on the Lakers based on what I'm seeing. Plus 120, plus 130 probably won't cut it for the Lakers in this series. So if anything, there seems to be some value on the Warriors, but nothing for me specifically in this series. One question that we had from the chat here from KP Kush 7, wondering about Jordan Poole in this one, over 14.5 points plus assists. Any thoughts on Jordan Poole, what his value will be in this series? Because he wasn't great in the first round.
Yeah, I saw like a ton of people on this, and I don't understand why.
Really?
What's the thing behind it? Because if they go small, okay, then he'll need to play a lot. But Lakers defense is way better than Kings defense, and he was terrible in series against the Kings. So and also Lakers have LeBron James. If Jordan Poole is on the court, they are attacking him every single possession because he is a con on defense, terrible. So I don't see more than 25 minutes for Jordan Poole in this series, and in every game he played. So first game played 21 minutes, had 20. Second game 15 minutes, had 5 PA. Last two games had 8 and 10 PA. So I don't know. Like they tried starting him, he was terrible. They go back to him off the bench. I think he's starting off the bench again this game. They can play Kevin Looney and Draymond Green together in this series because Lakers can't shoot. At least LeBron can. The Davis can't shoot. If they start Vanderbilt, they have 3 players that can shoot, so they can play Kevin Looney and Draymond Green together. So that if they can play them together, that means less minutes for Jordan Poole. They'll still play off the bench Dante DiVincenzo. Moody played well in the last couple of games. They'll play Gary Payton Jr. Like I don't see big minutes for Jordan Poole in this series,
Right.
so I'll stay away. I saw I'm not kidding. I saw at least 15 people on this bet.
Wow. So the popular play today, maybe Jordan Poole gets a big role. I personally don't really see it as well. From a price standpoint, a good chance to plug our sponsor, BetStamp. As always, if you guys are looking to sign up to a new sports book, to line shop for the playoffs, use our affiliate link in the description, betstamp.app/the board. If you're line shopping, you can get a 14.5 here, minus 120. It's 365, but
that's because I saw everyone on this bet.
Right.
That's probably it.
And it shot up here to 15.5 on FanDuel. So just a way for you to make sure if you guys want to play this, because as always, you guys are at your own free will. We just provided suggestions here. Make sure you're not getting a 15.5, and you could be getting a 14.5. The best way to do that is to line shop with a tool like BetStamp and to have these sports books open. And you can do that again with our affiliate link. All right, last thing to talk about, maybe not too much to talk about here because of all of the injury concerns in this matchup here. Part of the reason why, unfortunately, we don't have a play today. But Butler, Randall, Brunson, all questionable here. Impossible to set up any sort of bet, any lines. I don't even think the lines are open, really. But the Heat against the Knicks, we had the Game 1 win from the Miami Heat at MSG. Massive win for the Heat. Kyle Lowry was unbelievable in the fourth quarter. But any thoughts going into Game 2 of how the Knicks can get back in this series and what you expect to see? Do your best. I know there's injury concerns.
So they just a couple minutes ago said Butler went through shoot around. He's a crazy guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing and while not being able to run properly. So
I mean, he finished that last game. He couldn't even move.
And they didn't attack him at all.
I couldn't believe that. They just kept going to Kyle Lowry in the paint, and he kept getting steals and jump balls.
Such I experienced in that situation, and that was poor execution from the Knicks. I don't think Knicks can shoot this poorly again. Yeah, they miss so many great looks. Jalen Brunson was 0 from 7 from 3-point line. So Yeah, that's not happening again. Also, Hart was 0 from 4. RJ Barrett 1 from 5. That could happen. That's no crazy variance. But shooting 7 from 34 against the Heat, and their main defense is let opposing players shoot threes. So if you can make threes against the Knicks, you won't. Against the Heat, you won't win. That's for sure.
Mm.
But I don't know how this Miami Heat team keep winning. So many huge showing from last game. It was Kyle Lowry. The one game in the other series was Caleb Martin. Amazing games from Jimmy Butler. No hero. Bam Adebayo not scoring enough. So it's crazy how they keep winning. That's unbelievable. And now with Butler being hurt, if they win tonight, that would be like I don't know what to say anymore about this.
Miracle.
Yeah, they're just sick. They just I mean like Spo has the coaching edge on almost every coach in the league. That's the thing. He will find a way. But
Mhm.
the guy is still being able to execute. So Kevin Love 40% from three. Max Strus 40% from three. Gabe Vincent 42% from three. Kyle Lowry 50% from three. They just keep like fine and their best shooter probably Duncan Robinson was 0 from 5 and they still won. Like,
Yeah.
they just keep getting guys to shoot 40% in this season playoffs, and it's crazy. And Knicks also lost so many threes. They were collapsing so much on Jimmy Butler. It was crazy. Like you don't need to collapse so much on Jimmy Butler. Okay, don't let him to get the layup, but be happy with him shooting from 15 feet or outside. And then no, they just keep leaving wide open players to shoot. And Jimmy Butler had a great game. And yeah, it will be interesting to see him on one leg playing tonight. That will be interesting. And on the other side, Brunson and Randle are quite questionable. I think we'll see Jalen Brunson play no matter what, but I'm not sure with Randle, and I'm not
Yeah.
sure how does it affect the game because Obi Toppin was probably the best
He's been
after.
good.
Yeah,
He's a good
he's
player.
good.
He just doesn't play a lot because Randall's in his way, and neither of them can play other positions.
Yeah, I had some beef with someone on the Twitter about Obi Toppin, and I
Really?
think I think he's underrated because he's playing, as you said, some minutes that Randall sits, and that's not much with tips. So I
Yeah.
think if I need to choose, Randall not being 100% and Obi Toppin being ready and want to get his, I'll go with Obi Toppin for
It's a great
sure.
point. It's a great
Yeah,
point.
and he made 4 threes. The rest of the team made three. The entire Knicks team outside Obi Toppin made 3 threes, and Obi Toppin had 4. That's huge for them. Yeah, they were leaving him wide open, but he made 37% of them, and they need Obi Toppin tonight. And I don't know, Renner could slow them down. He's worse on defense, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's a really
I'm
good point.
I don't think
Because
him being out changes much for on the good or bad way for the Knicks. He has his bad and good sides, but I think Knicks should win tonight. They need to win tonight.
oh
They
yeah,
need to exploit some stuff, but not that confident with how poor they played. With they didn't exploit Butler not being able to move, so
yeah, I couldn't
you never
believe it.
know. Yeah, you never
They
know.
so first of all on Toppin, I really like that point that 100% Toppin is better than a 50% Randall, whereas on the Heat side, maybe a 50% Butler is better than the replacement coming in. Although,
Yeah,
as Colin Botch was saying here, Spoelstra always gets the best out of his players. Like why the Heat are always a good team despite not having the great rosters because Spoelstra is that good of a coach. They always find ways to win because he gets the most out of them. So that's extremely impressive. But Butler literally on offense stood in the corner. There was one play where he literally was just practicing his release the entire shot clock, and he had no interest in playing offense whatsoever. I don't know if you remember that. He was literally just standing in the corner working on his release, no ball, just in the air. And on defense, they tried to switch on to him once. They tried once, and he
yeah,
immediately switched off. They got the switch back onto a healthy defender. But oh my God, like Tibbs, like I know Butler is his guy. He has a great relationship with Jimmy. Embarrass this guy. Like you had to get him off the you had to bully Spoelstra into getting him off the floor because he couldn't run. Like he just stood there. So that was extremely confusing. But I still have to give my shout outs again to Kyle Lowry because his decision making in the fourth quarter really propelled the Heat forward. It's not about box score for a lot of guys because the decision making, oh my God, that was one of the best. Like James Harden is your favorite player. My favorite player is Kyle Lowry, and watching him deliver that IQ in such a key part of the game was great to see at his age here. I also want to shout out Bam Adebayo because box score wise, he didn't have a good game, but if you saw the game, which I watched this whole one, he did great on Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, he sacrificed a lot of his stats to ensure that Robinson wasn't nearly as effective, and he was just letting everybody else play their best game. So Bam was great in this game as well. So the Heat, I mean, they showed out, and of course, it is pretty much a must-win game here for the Knicks in Game 2. So I'm personally quite excited. All right, last thing here, we have a question from the chat. This was about the Warriors and the Lakers, so we'll flip back here. But the total's at 227 here, and Daryl DeYoung is wondering here, if you think this game will be a lot slower as the Lakers try to get the pace down. But what are your thoughts on the points we'll see from this game?
The good thing for this is the Golden State Warriors playing a bit tired in the first game, so that could work into this. But I'm not sure Lakers want to slow down because their half-court offense is not great. So I don't think they get much of it. So I don't think that they change their pace a lot tonight, especially with them being a bit more fresh in this game. Maybe throughout the series, if some things they need to adjust to get slower pace and cut down transition. But with AD at 5, you can have a good pace and be in a good spot, especially against a team that's more tired than you. They won Game 6 without playing 4 quarter minutes. It was easy blowout win for the Lakers. And then they have extra days of rest. Golden State Warriors very tired, probably getting into this game very tiring series against the Knicks and less rest. And they're a bit older. So I think this could be, I think this is more, it could be under because of this more than Lakers trying to slow down the pace.
Okay, so some great food for thought for that Lakers and Warriors Game 1. Playoffs have been super entertaining so far, so I am pumped for these two games tonight. Almost settled in with my moves, so I might be able to actually watch these. Although we got some hockey, I'm in Ontario, so I got the Maple Leafs in the second round of a playoff series for the first time in my lifetime that I actually can watch Maple Leafs in the second round of playoff series. So I'm pumped for that from the NHL landscape. And for NHL betting, you can go over to Edgework, which is the NHL content division of the Hammer Betting Network. But that'll wrap it up from us here at Pick and Roll. Apologies for no official plays today, but with all the questionable players in the Heat Knicks game and the difficulties Lakers Warriors, we don't want to just have one out just for the sake of it. So we'll take that off. But hopefully you got some great information out of today's show. As always, guys, make sure to hit us up in the chat, in the comments live for questions like that. We like answering them. We like going through them. And it helps, hopefully, with your betting, maybe give us a little bit of info as well. So thank you again, guys. Like this stream. If you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe to the Board YouTube channel. And we will be back tomorrow for more Pick and Roll. Only one game, and hopefully we can get a free pick out for that one. We will see you then.